evening, depending on wherever you are watching me from at this hour of the day. It's once again another beautiful day to behold. It's your brother Emmanuel Oni reaching you all the way from Lagos City, Nigeria, the center of excellency. I'm reaching you via the platform of NIGERIAN Watch this morning once again. This is Matters Arising Early Morning Dose. We give you everything that has happened in the last 24 hours. We supply you, we break it down, we analyze it together, we discuss it together. Everything, anything that has happened in the last 24 hours around the globe. That is what we serve you with every morning like this, an early morning dose for all NIGERIAN Watch family. Thank God for another beautiful day. Thank God for today that God has given unto us. I promise you it's going to be another fun and entertaining, informative day from my end. And I hope that you follow me as we move along. You relax yourself with whatever you think is good for you, a cup of tea, wine, coffee, whichever you think that is good for you. Just stay along and move on with me as I drive the show. My leader, area mentor Stephen, humanist Stephen, is still not available today. We are hoping that in the next few days he will be with us. So I'm still holding it down this morning on his behalf. So I expect you, as we drive the show along together, you try as much as possible to encourage your people, your friends, your family to subscribe to NIGERIAN Watch. And as they subscribe, share the video to as much people as possible. And at the same time, don't just sit down and watch, like, so that we'll be able to reach as much people as possible. Because when you like, that people will be attracted to watch the video. So I need you to do all these things out there. I need you to engage me with your comments, with your contributions, with your solutions, with your answers, with everything, with your corrections if need be. Yeah, that is why we are here. It's when we see you, when we feel you from the other side, that we are encouraged, that we are pushed, we are driven to give more. That is our motivator. That is our energy booster that we need to drive, to pilot, to move on with the show. So as we move on, please just stay tuned and follow us and make your own contributions as the case may be. Thank you once again. Welcome once again to Matters Arising newspaper review this morning. So we have a lot on our table. We have a very large topic of agenda on our table this morning to meet up with. So let's start in earnest. President Buhari meet with new service chiefs. President Buhari meet with new service chiefs. As we are aware, 3 days ago, the president, in his wisdom, came up with the sacking or replacement of the old service chiefs. A new one came in yesterday, and they had opportunity of meeting with the president yesterday. So let us go into the news proper so that we get the full details of what was discussed. The President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday meet with the new service chiefs. The meeting was held behind closed doors at the council chambers of Presidential Villa in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. The first meeting between the Commander-in-Chief and the new leaders of armed forces is coming one day after the President accepted the immediate resignation of other service chiefs, appointed new officers as replacement. The new service chiefs are Major General Leo Irabo, Chief of Defence Staff, Major General I. Ataru, Chief of Army Staff, Rear Admiral A.Z. Gambo, Chief of Naval Staff, and Air Vice Marshal I.O. Amao, Chief of Air Staff. Their appointment came after numerous calls for the sack of the former service chief over the increasing insecurity in the country. As far back as July, the Nigerian Senate had called on the service chief to step aside. The Senate reiterated its call in December after 43 farmers were killed in Zamfara, Borno State by Boko Haram terrorists. Senator Ibrahim Shakaru, in a Chinese television interview, stressed that the president was breaking the law by keeping the service chief who had been in their position since 2015. The president is breaking the law. The law says if you are above 60, you must go. It is automatic, Shakaru said. If you are 35 years in service, you must go. In fact, they are no staff of Mr. President. They are staff of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and there is a rule. Members of the main opposition, the People's Democratic Party, have also serially called for the top military officers to be replaced. The presidency has said President Buhari would make the decision when the time is right. Now, these service chiefs, the old ones, stayed more than necessary. Even when they passed their age of service, the president decided to keep them. But thank God last week they removed them. So a new one was inaugurated. Let me use the word inaugurated yesterday after meeting with the president, and the president gave them some marching orders, some target to meet, as I think. We know that is on the pages of newspaper, but he gave them marching order and target, as I think. So we are hoping that after this meeting yesterday, the new service chiefs will go all out there and do the needful and prove to be better than the old ones, coming with fresh blood, fresh ideas, so that we will be able to overcome the present insecurity problem. Quickly, let's go into the next one, because I want to link it together before I make my opinion clear on this matter. Change of service chief should not be cosmetic, say Northern Elders. Okay, no. Let me read this first. Let me go for this first. Excuse me. Change of service chiefs should not be cosmetics. Change of service chiefs should not be cosmetics. The Northern Elders, let me read it first. Let me read it. Let me read a little bit of try to analyze first. The Northern Elders Forum has warned that the change of service chief should not be cosmetic. Speaking through his spokesperson, Dr. Hakeem Baba Ahmed, the NEF said the nation should not be carried away by the change, stressing that while it is important that the armed forces has a new leadership, it is more pertinent to note that the new leaders understand that they have a huge task. That is very, very important. So we are celebrating new service chief, good ones, but we must draw their attention. We shouldn't be carried away with the new service chiefs. Our service chiefs are now around. Good morning, ma, mommy diaspora. Good morning. Welcome to Matters Arising this morning. I appreciate your time. I thank you so much for all you are doing to encourage, to push us, to make us deliver more on what we promise to do. Thank you so much, ma. God bless you once again. So, this Dr. Baba Ahmed, who was a guest on Channels TV, Sunrise Daily, at least appeals to the president has considered that it's time for him to appoint new service chief. Our hope is that he is not just responding to public opinion, but he himself acknowledged the fact that the old service chief have run out of steam and their leadership of the service is not producing results it was intended to produce. Very, very important. The Director of Publicity and Advocacy of the Northern Elders Forum was of the opinion that the president, as a commander-in-chief, has the responsibility to lead the new service chief in a better way than he did in the past. The key is this: is the president. The key is the president. He has to change his attitude to the defense and security of this country. You cannot run this country with all this insecurity challenge and maintain this distance that he maintained with what is going on in Nigeria. Now, he's suggesting that the president cannot continue with the way he's distancing himself with the people and the service chiefs. He cannot. That is the truth of the matter. He cannot. He has to take up the challenge and come close to the people. Feel the pulse of the people. You cannot distance yourself from the people you lead like that and expect things to go the right way. You listen to the president and his spokesperson are telling you the situation is better than it was in 2015. It was very disturbing thing when you hear this. Yes, that is always the rhetoric. That is always the way the propaganda. The spokesperson of the president will always come up with competition. I don't know who gave them competition. If they were assigned competition that they should come and compete with the old administration. You saw the problem. You promised you were going to come to solve it. You promised you were going to come and nip it in the bud. And for you to come now, you are not comparing yourself with the achievement, comparing your achievement with the old achievement of the old administration. That is not it. You guys must face the task that has been given to you in the next 4 years and do the best you need to do, not by competing with the old one or comparing your achievement with the old one. That is not it. So the president and his team must know this, so that they know that they have a huge task ahead of them to fulfill. There are no suicide bombing now, but the population of Nigeria living under Boko Haram is huge and unacceptable. Yes, for quite a while, the President Buhari has been pressured to do away with the old service chief, bring in fresh leaders who will go on to persecute the war against insurgents within the northeast, as well as quash the rising cases of banditry and kidnapping. In what would seem as answer to the repeated call for the removal of the old leaders of the armed forces, President Buhari on Tuesday accepted the immediate resignation of the service chiefs and appointed new officers to replace them. The new service chiefs are Major General Leo Irabo as Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Ibrahim Ataro as Chief of Army Staff, Rear Admiral A.Z. Gambo as Chief of Naval Staff, and Air Vice Marshal I.O. Amao as Chief of Air Staff. While this is a welcome development to many Nigerians, the Northern Elders Forum, through his spokesperson, noted that now that the president has made the replacement, it is only the beginning of much more that is needed. So the change is just the beginning. We have not actually started. The change is just the beginning. So the work need to start earnestly, so that they will be able to save Nigeria from this present insecurity situation that we have. We are fighting a range game tag army that is now virtually fighting as equal, because the Nigerian military has not defeated them. They are winning the war. NEF spokesperson Dr. Baba Ahmed said there is a political contest in which the nation fight, and Nigeria must understand this political contest even as it persecutes the war against the insurgency. That is the truth. There's the political side of this battle, and except the new service chiefs, the politicians, the government decide. I'm not sure. The truth is that that's the truth, man. I'm not sure the president knows is right. You know, and even most of our politicians does not know their responsibility. That is the truth of the matter. That is the truth of the matter. What Nigerian politicians think is their responsibility is to struggle their way into power, and after struggling their way into power, they will now just to exercise power, live extravagant life, exaggerated life. That is what they think. That is what they think is their responsibility. They don't know. They don't know. That is the truth, man. So they must be called to action, that they should know that there are huge tasks for them. There is a battle to fight. Nigeria is raging from one insecurity crisis to another. Boko Haram, banditry, kidnapping, armed robbery, cultism, everything. So they must be ready, and the political side of this battle must be handled, because the politicians, they are ready to bring Nigeria down to their level. So until the government decide to handle the political side of this battle, we will not be able to get it right. So the government must change its way. The government must, as a matter of urgency, change the way their approach to this battle. They must first of all fight the political side of this matter. They must fight it. They must handle that political side before we can actually win the war on insecurity. That is very, very important. That is very, very, very important. So next on the news, CSO charged new service chief to shun politics. You see what I mean? CSO, civil society organizations, charged the new service chiefs to shun politics and nepotism. This is very, very, very key to this battle, to this fight against insecurity. Let me read it so that we'll get a clear understanding what the news is talking about. Civil society organization Wednesday charged newly appointed service chief to shun politics and nepotism, but demonstrate professionalism and patriotism in the fight against insecurity. Very key. They must be professional in what they are doing. They must remove the politics. They must not align with the politicians, just like Wike said day before yesterday. If they want to really win this war, they must shun politics and nepotism. They started this while speaking with Vanguard on on expectation from the new service chiefs following escalated security challenges across the country. The founder, One Love Foundation, Chief Patrick Eholo, expressed optimism that the new service chiefs are personalities that can change the narrative based on their track record. Yes, I think they have the track record, but track record is not just enough, because we missed everything we do with politics. So by the time these people are trapped in the webs of politics, then professionalism and patriotism will disappear. Moving on. So they must fight that battle. They must remove that part of it. Politics and nepotism. Elau said, furthermore, I think the new service chief, which include Major General Leo Irabor, Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Taro, Chief of Army Staff, Rear Admiral A.Z. Gambo, Chief of Naval Staff, and Air Force Marshal I.O. Amao, Chief of Air Staff, are experienced enough, judging by their profile. So they have record, they have profile to make us believe that they can deliver. But the question is, the politics would emerge in everything we do. The art of patriotism that would put ourselves in everything we do. I believe that they would be able to turn the tide on security in the country in no distance time. The new service chiefs should shun politics and use their new position to work selflessly for the space and security of the peace and security of the country. Lastly, the federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari must continue to fund the military and their men by increasing their salaries, benefits, and to enable them compete favorably with their counterparts all over the world. You cannot send an angry man to secure you and be happy. There must be extra motivation to enable them to start their duties effectively. However, it stated that the rising state of insecurity in the country can be attributed to the retention for far too long of the replacement service chiefs by President Muhammadu Buhari. Yes, so that is another very important thing. We must find a way to motivate these people. You cannot send people to go and protect you when they are hungry, when they cannot take care of their family. They will not do the job well. So this motivation, well-paid salary package, allowance, if they are entitled to allowance, their allowance must be given to them as at when due. Not you promise them allowance, 5 years, 6 years, you are not giving them. While some officers in the office will be collecting their allowance. So, and their future must be guaranteed. The future of their family must be guaranteed, because the people are going to where they might likely not come back. So if they don't come back, what is the hope of their family? So these things must be put in place, in balance, so that these people will have the mind, the right mind. That's the only way they will even be patriotic. You cannot send me to go and fight when I am not sure if I die today, you will take off my family that I leave behind. It's going to be difficult for me to put my life on the line for that kind of situation. So we must be truthful about this matter. We must be frank about it. And this aspect of it will only be taken care of by the politicians. It's not me. It's not the military themselves. It is the politicians, because they are the ones that are in charge of our treasury. One senator cannot be collecting 30-something million, 15 million, 20 million monthly, and somebody that is going to war to fight will be collecting 40,000, 40-something thousand a month, and you will even hold them allowances that you are supposed to pay them. It's not done, and you expect that person to put his life on the line for the country. It's not done. It can never. It's not possible. So all these things must be put in balance. A governor work for just 8 years, he's a billionaire. If he's not what, if that governor is too good, if you want, it will be like 2 billion naira worth after 2 years, after 8 years. But somebody will work as a military man or a civil servant for 30-something years. He cannot boast of a good accommodation, a house that is worth 20 million naira. And you will not, the pension package that you are supposed to give them, you will not give them. They will have to die before they get it. They will suffer. Some of them, in trying to process or get their pension package, get involved in some accident or so many terrible experience. Some died through the process. And you expect those people, the young ones that are there now, to put their life on the line. It's not possible. So those aspects of peace must be taken care of. Meanwhile, in another assertion, the President People Movement for New Nigeria, PMNN, Yaya Ndu, called on the Executive, National Assembly, and the judiciary of the judicial arm of government to support the new service chief with the strong political will to enable them successfully persecute their the war against insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, and all forms of criminality. Yes, very, very correct. The National Assembly, the government, the politicians must come up with law to enhance the life of these people, to enhance even the way the war is being persecuted. Ndu said, why the resignation of the former service chiefs and the appointment of fresh ones hold great potentials regarding tackling insecurity in Nigeria, a lot will depend on the political will of the president, the legislation, and the judiciary. Very, very correct. A lot is depend on them. It's not me, it's not you. It is the politicians that will really decide how far this battle will go. Whether these new officers will succeed or not, it depends on the political will of the politicians, and maybe add to it the judiciary. One of the defects in this challenge of insecurity in Nigeria is to a very large extent traceable to the reluctance of the legislation to enact meaningful and practical laws, as well as unseriousness on the part of the judiciary to do its part. So they are calling for practical law, good laws that will enable these people to do their work effectively. Everything as it were is left for the presidency, which is wrong. Where the legislator and the judiciary live up to expectation, the executive is led by the president. We have absolutely no chance but to do the right thing. But where the legislation and the judiciary fail to do their job, and the presidency will never be able to meet up with the expectation of Nigeria under a modern democracy. End of the story. Yes, the legislators, the judiciary, they must come up with legal framework, legislations that will make these service chiefs deliver on the assignment given to them. If things are still going to be left like this, no political will to change things, no political will to do the needful, now, I'm sorry to say, in another 3-4 years, we are going to be crying again that they should change these ones, because the laws are not really there to make them effective. I am in total support of this philosophy, ideology of these people, and they are 100% correct. 100% correct. 100% correct. So I appeal to the politicians to please do the needful. My people, good morning once again to Matters Arising. Please, as you are watching, like this video, Share this video. Encourage your friends and your family, your loved ones to subscribe to NAIJA Wars channel. We need all these things to motivate us. You guys are doing wonderfully well. I appreciate you. You are doing well. You are doing beautifully well. Please endeavor, don't just watch. Please like to make more people, to attract more people to watch this video. It's very important. Come up with suggestions. Engage me with your solutions, with your with your comments, with your suggestions, with your ideas. Let me learn from you. I need to learn from you too. It's not all about me. Like Mommy Diaspora already said, the president does not know his responsibility. And I extend it. Nigeria politicians, I beg to tell you, 70% of them doesn't know their responsibility. They just think their responsibility is to come and gallivant and enjoy the wealth of the nation as a leader. That is where their responsibility ends. So, moving on, let's go to the next on our list of agenda today. 45 senior military officers submit retirement letter. 45 senior military officers submit retirement letter. This news is still in continuation of this new service chiefs. Yes. Now, what this news is saying is that 45 senior military officers submit retirement letter. So they are going. 45 of them. Let me read it before I drop my own opinion. Make I read that. Okay. Wait. 1 minute. Sorry. Okay, excuse me. Sorry for this. Over 45 senior officers from the Nigeria Army, and Navy, Air Force have put in their letter of retirement from service following the appointment of their juniors. The appointment of, I want you to underline that word, the appointment of their juniors and classmates as service chiefs by the President Buhari, Dele's son Gada. Okay. Most of the officers who have put in their retirement letter are said to have been in the rank of Major General and Brigadier General, members of the regular course 33 to 35 from the Nigeria Defense Academy. It was gathered that those who put their retirement letter addressed it to the former service chiefs. The service which has the highest number of officers going on retirement is the Army with 25, followed by the Navy, which is 13, and Air Force 10 officers. So these are the people, the numbers of officers that are put in for the same thing with me. I agree with you, man. I don't think there's anything to actually jubilate about. It's just recycling. But let's give them some benefit of that. Let's give them some benefit of that. We will see in the next 6 months, 1 year, we will be able to come up with our own position and judge them from what we can, from what we are seeing. So 25 out of them are from Army. 13 of them are from Navy, while 10 are from Air Force that have put in the registration letter as a result of this appointment. And the reason for this is that some of these people, now I use broken, make una understand well well. Make we for communicate well well. Because this one, you don't tell when they affect me. You don't tell when I think this matter. Not be this region startable. So it not be matter of this region. It's a matter of the way Nigeria is being run. Because none of these people, as far as I'm concerned, none of these politicians even love Nigeria. Everybody is just coming to take their position. May I read that finish before we move on? Before I drop my... It was, however, gathered that Lieutenant General Lamidu Adeosun might have been tipped for United Nations job, which supposed to begin sometime in March this year. Daily Sun gathered that the reason for the retirement of the senior officer might not be unconnected with the appointment of the new service chiefs. Their retirement are, however, at the discretion of the service chief, some of whom may want to still retain them in service. A retired service chief said, the issue of retirement is our tradition in the military. You know, most times, officers pay compliment to their senior. They surprise their ranks. They surpass their rank. Now that the cost 35 have been made the chief, it is possible that there are some cost 33 and 34 that are still brigadier general. It could happen and you will see the major general paying compliment to his senior, because once he's your senior, he continue to be your senior for life. Even those who retire as colonel, major general will see them and pay them compliment. They continue in retirement. So it's a tradition. So far it has been continued. But I know that few senior officers said they are willing to continue once the officers are going to be promoted above the rank. So they are going to be senior to all those that are senior mid. Now, the situation like that, let me try and break it down to how we understand. Nigerian, our own way of appointing service chief, especially for the military, both paramilitary and the full-time military, which is the army, the navy, the police, the custom, the way that they pick the way our politicians, they pick the head. They're not a pick normally you expect that when you are picking somebody to lead, you go to the last 3, 4, after this person when you want to come out, you go to the next 1, 2, 3, or at most 5, and do your findings, your interview among these 5 that will be able to fit that position when you want to give them, that will be able to deliver on the assignment when you want to give them. That is the way, the customary way, the standard way of picking leaders in an organization. When organization they grow, when some are retiring, when the senior one, you pick among the last 5 at most. That time said 3. The first 3, sorry, not last. The first 3. So now, when Nigeria know they do that one, what did they do? Then go down. It can be 20 people that are up when it pass like this one now. Over 40 something, 45, over 45 are planning to retire simply because the person when they pick as the people when they pick as their leader now, as the new service chiefs, are now junior, are supposed to be junior to some of these 45 people. Some of them there for the same rank because they finish at the same time. I don't get problem with the ones when they finish at the same time. But the one when he passed them, when their rank pass them. So you go leave like 10-15 people when he did the next rank. You go leave them simply because it still goes back to the politics when I dey talk this. Simply because you feel that among those 10, one major reason number one wey me I know say dey cause am, I'm going to be very blunt. Number one, maybe that 5 or 10 when he did the next position, they are not from your region. They are not from the same side with the president. So automatically, those 5 or 10, when they are supposed to pick from, because they are not from the same side with the president, whoever is the president, not be this president startable. Now so everybody dey practice am before. They will not remove, just first of all disqualify those 10 or 15 or 20 people. Come go look for where the next officers, when it come from their region. Come go look for that one. Then from there now they will come to choose who want to be the next service chiefs or who want to be the next IG of police. So automatically you have rendered those people now, even when they never reach to resign, you don't give them force to resign, because at the end of the day, the person when you want to go break now junior officer to at least maybe 20. And as is customary in the military, a senior officer is a senior officer. You will always respect them. Now, the person that is now chief of staff or chief of navy staff or chief of IFN staff, whatever, will now be, he go come get about 10 people when he go senior rank, when he come dey supervise. So how they want to take the grit? It now become problem. And you not expecting the chief of army staff, you not expect that when he see the person when he's senior rank before, make it come still dey greet him as a senior officer, or you not expect the senior officer before, make it come dey greet the person when he's senior before, make it come dey respect him as a leader, because he's not the head of their team. So I don't know why Nigeria do things like that. It's not about this government. It's about both the past, during military now, so that they do it. I don't know. We just automatically, you are forced 47 people to resign with their experience, with all they have gathered in the last 30 years at least. You just force them to resign. And it goes back to the politics. That even when the person, when you want to go pick, not even qualify, he cannot even deliver on the assignment. But they are forced to pick them because of favoritism, nepotism, because they are from the same region. Because they feel more comfortable. They feel more safe with them. So it's not about patriotism. It's not about who can deliver the job. We just relegate these two things, these very vital things. We put it behind us and run Nigeria with personal interest. I think that is the reason we are where we are. Because for everything we do, we run a country with personal interest, not on professionalism or what you can do. I think there's enough. I've said enough about this matter. It hurts me. It hurts me. So that is where we are. That is how we roll. That is what we do. That is where our politicians put us. Next on our agenda, Ondo Amatokun reads riots as to enhancement, says legislation will be total. Ondo Amatokun reads Riot Act to herdsmen says registration will be total. We all know this Amotekun, the branch of Ondo, as a result of the insecurity when it don't dey there, the government of the Southwest can come up with another form of security when they go fit get control over, so that they will be able to control the security of their state. That was the idea. So now that group now they call Amotekun. That is their code name. Now that Amotekun now, they read riot act to herdsmen when in one day deviance, when he wan say they no go register, say make dem notice say this one na play o, say registration of herdsmen in Ondo State is going to be total. So you cannot run away from it. It's either you buy into it or you chicken out of Ondo State or from the reserve. Then I read the story proper. The commander of the Ondo State Security Agency, Amotekun Corps, Mr. Adetunji Adeleye, has said that the herdsmen in government forest reserve who failed to register within the stipulated time will face the consequences. Adeleye promised that herdsmen who does not have a genuine business in the state would not be registered. So if you are not doing genuine business as an herdsman in the state, you will not be registered. So it must be for those when they do genuine herdsman business in Ondo State that are qualified to be registered and do business within that forest reserve area. This is coming as the headers troop out to register as directed by the state governor Rotimi Akeredolu. That's a good one. So the headers are now coming out to go and register. Beautiful. Adeleye said the registration will assist the government to know and separate genuine headers with genuine motive of doing business in the state from criminal elements. After the registration exercise, those cleared will be issued license to operate in the state and must abide by the rules of engagement as stipulated by the law of the land. As for those who want to register, we will profile the person, know his background, what he wants to do, and make sure it's legitimate. Pay necessary fee to the government and it will be issued the necessary license. Anybody who fails to register within the stipulated time will face the wrath of the law. Also reacting, the State Commissioner of Agriculture, Otumba Adegboyega Adefarati, said some of the illegal headers were already leaving the forest. Thank God for that. Adefarati added that the registration will be biometrics. Speaking with Vanguard, the special advisor to the governor on security matter, Alhaji Jimoh Danjumo, said the herdsmen had been moving out of the forest reserve in compliance with the order of the governor. Danjumo said that many herders had indicated interest in the exercise. We have just started. I am sure more will come. The herders don't have any alternative but to register. Anyone who fails to register will not be allowed to operate in the states. According to him, the registration has to be total. Also speaking, the chairman of Makba in the state, Alhaji Garuba Bello, said the headers have started registering. Garuba asked government officials to visit the government forest reserve to see how herdsmen have been obeying the governor's order. That's very good. So if they have choose to obey the government order, beautiful. We must take this thing serious. Not only in this business. You must know the number of people that are within a particular sector or region. We can't just be doing things. Everybody must be registered. That is the only way you can even plan a society. You can't just come and just start doing anything. Then everybody just take advantage of the system. No, it's not possible. It is not possible. Some kind of documentation must be put in place for things to work. That is for that. So I'm happy for this sharing news. I thank God for it, and I hope they will follow it to a logical conclusion, like we are expecting, so that we'll be able to bring peace and tranquility to this region. And I hope that it's extended to other parts of Nigeria, not only Southwest. So let these other governors from other regions, even North Central, South, Southeast, to take a cue from this and do their own registration exercise to bring sanity and peace to their environment. The next on our agenda is save life first before asking for police report. ID test hospitals. Save life first before asking for police report. ID test hospitals. The Inspector General of Police, IG Mohammed Adamu, has urged doctors to treat victims of gunshot wounds first before asking for any police report. Mr. Adamu stated this on Monday while appearing as a guest on Channel's television News Light program. Shedding light on the police policy on people with gunshot wounds, the police chief said, "No, we don't do that. Save life first, even if it is an individual, suspected robber or kidnapper or bandit. If he or she has gunshot wounds, goes to the hospital, his life must be saved first before thinking of any other thing to do." That is very, very important. There is if he or she has gunshot wound, okay, there is no issue of asking for police report before you treat anybody with gunshot wound, he added. The Nigeria Police Force (NPF) have in recent times warned hospitals and doctors to desist from rejecting gunshot victims, saying such an act constitutes a flagrant violation of existing law. According to NPF, doctors who reject these victims are criminal, liable on account of the provision of compulsory treatment and care of victims of gunshots. In 2017, the Senate passed a bill seeking to establish a law that ensures that victims of gunshot should receive the necessary treatment. The compulsory treatment and care of victims of gunshot bill, when signed into law, will prevent medical workers from denying care to gunshot victims. According to the Senate President at that time, Dr. Bukola Saraki, the bill will help put a legal framework in place to prevent unnecessary loss of life, especially as not every gunshot victim is criminal. By the passage of this bill, the Senate has moved to ensure that every hospital in Nigeria, both public and private, must accept to treat victims of gunshot wound without any clearance from the police. Saraki was quoted as saying in a statement by his media office. So now what they are saying, what this bill is talking about, I will explain it. I think that, okay, that's the end of the story there. There's a law here in Nigeria that has always been a problem. And the law says that if you have a gunshot wound, You must bring police report before you can be treated in an office. And that means in an hospital. And that means if armed robber come to my house or I'm going somewhere, I'm being attacked by armed robber, they shoot me, I must bring police report before I will be attended to in the hospital. What kind of law is that? And that has led to the death of so many Nigerians. I remember way back, my friend, we were growing up in Benin, my very good friend, armed robbers came to their house. The sister, young girl, maybe there like 15, 16, 17 years, maybe, I'm not sure it's more than 17 years. They shot her. This girl spent more than 24 hours in the hospital without being attended to because of police report. Thank God it was a leg shot, not in the dangerous area. If it was in a dangerous area that would have lived to death of that girl, she would have died. They left her for almost 24 hours before she was attended to. And the damage, because my people are good, those are good morning, God bless you, God bless you. Odion, good morning, good morning. You guys are welcome to Matters Arising this morning. I appreciate you. God bless you for your time. God bless you for liking. God bless you for sharing this video. Thank you so much for all your encouragement, for your engagement. Thank you so much. Now, it happens every day. Even hospital, I've even taken to the next level of. Yes, many innocent people have died as a result of this. Yes, Mommy Diaspora. Many innocent people. There was this case, that was the reason for this law in 2017. Somewhere in Lagos, yeah, this guy was coming from work in the evening. In the evening, around 7 o'clock, around Bagada area in Lagos. She was attacked. So they wanted to take her laptop from her. She resisted, just minimal resistance. They stabbed her, tear her body, and they still eventually took the laptop away from her. This one now wasn't a gunshot, it was just a knife. She was rushed to the nearest hospital around that area. They refused her treatment. That they were saying she should go and bring a police report. In the process of trying to drag this, within 2-3 hours, this girl gave up. This girl gave up. A lot of people have died as a result of this stupid law. Very irritating law. So I thank God that somebody is speaking and they are saying, you don't need it. That is wickedness. This is not the way to save a country. And even after Saraki regime tried to come up with a bill, they put it together, and I'm not sure it has been passed into law by the president. But I don't know why do we even need a bill or a law to say this? To know that this thing is wrong? That somebody, anybody with injury, that is whether knife or gunshot, first of all, save the person. So as you are saving the person, you are contacting the police. That is the ideal thing to do. But we take everything we do the other way around because of our wickedness. So I'm appealing to everybody that is concerned, especially the hospital, the Ministry of Health. Please work on this. It's not a law. This shouldn't even be about law. Osas, good morning, my person. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. You don't need a law for this. It's wickedness. So thank God the police head has come up to clarify on that you don't need a police report. So I hope the hospital board, the Ministry of Health are listening. And the judiciary should wake up to their responsibility too, because this matter, if you want to check it, you concern the because if I lost somebody because of that, a relation, I should be able to take the matter to court and sue that hospital and get justice. So next on our agenda, I was abducted in church, sold to Fulani kidnappers, NIS spokesperson. Let me read it. I was adopted in church, sold to Fulani kidnappers, NIS spokesperson. The public relations officer of the Nigeria Immigration Service, Edo State Command, Bridget Esene, has said that she was meant to be killed, but her abductor sold her to suspected Fulani herdsmen. Esene, who was released by her abductors on Tuesday, said she suffered at the hands of the kidnappers. Speaking on Wednesday through the telephone, she said the armed men, numbering 5, trailed me to my church at Ihuorio, near Benin City, where I was kidnapped. I was forced into the car and driven out of the church premises by the abductors, who later sold me to another set of kidnappers who were suspected herdsmen. I saw her and I did not wish my enemy such. She said upon sighting the kidnapper, she had attempted to escape but was intercepted at the gunpoint by the hoodlums. It stated that the armed men later took her into the forest and some other kidnappers were on the ground to receive her. She added, I was later sold to another set of gunmen who then took me deep into the forest. Mr. Esene said she was later rescued by the police and the vigilante. You see? So the thing is, the industry is growing every day. And I call it industry. The kidnapping industry in Nigeria is growing every day. So they are not chased now. They are the one that will now go and kidnap. And they cannot come and sell for the one that will now go and do business with it. And this thing happened in Edo State. In Edo State. That is where this thing happened. Very disheartening. How are we going to get out of this problem? Now we are not, it's taking another dimension. This is a brand new one. Some group will now go and kidnap and later come and sell to another group. So it's no more about Fulani herdsmen alone. They are not chains of, it's not a sector. So they are not chains, what do they call this in business? Chains. Please, Edo State government, please learn from, just I have always advised other states to come and learn from you in the area of penalty for defaulters of COVID-19 protocol. Yeah, I've always advised the same way. I want you to learn from Southwest governments. Bring an end to this crisis. Bring an end. Use your good office before he grows to the point. See the devil he has gone to now. There are not chains of businessmen in this industry. So we go and kidnap, sell, then the other will not be the one to go and collect money. Thank God for the life of this woman that she was rescued, according to her, she never made mention of exactly, that's the point. MDN, that is what I'm saying. So he is, you brought it out of my mouth. MDN, you just brought it out of my mouth. So our people are now involved in it. Our people will now go kidnap and sell to the herdsmen. It's a pity. So the governor, please, I'm calling on you. Learn from, I'm sure the same thing is happening in the Southwest. So learn from the Southwest governor and protect your people. That you must do. If this thing continue, all your effort to build Edo State will amount to zero. Amount to zero. Nobody will remember you because of this insecurity problem. Please, for posterity reason, fight this Kakawon. Fight this problem that is bedeviling our state. Yes, she's very right. Yeah, as long as we keep negotiating and paying. Thank you, ma. As far as we keep negotiating and paying, it will never stop. It's now an industry. And the way it is, more people will be attracted to it. Because it's a big industry now. I'm sure annually billions pass through that chain of sector. That sector every year now, billions of naira. So other people are now attracted to go into that venture. The governors must do all it can to nip it in the bud. Moving on. Amnesty International alleged continued police brutality. Amnesty International alleged continuous police brutality. Amnesty International on Wednesday alleged that the federal government was yet to initiate a concrete reform in the Nigeria police, saying operatives of the force were still brutal in their dealings. It accused the authority of failing to bring to justice those suspected to be responsible for the crackdown by security force in peaceful #EndSARS protesters at Lekki Tollgate and Alausa, Lagos in October 20. Osai Ojigo, director of Amnesty International in Nigeria, was quoted in a statement by the spokesperson of the organization, Issa Sanusi, that the authority are brazenly attempting to cover up the violence 100 days on from the attack. People report from across Nigeria indicate that police violence is still widespread despite government promises of change. Amnesty International is concerned that the Nigeria authority will continue their current ban on protest and remind the government of its obligation under the Nigeria Constitution of 1999 as amended and international human rights treaties, to which the country is a state party. To all those who gather peacefully to express their views without fear of arrest or intimidation, the statement reads. First spokesman Frank Uba neither answer several phone calls or reply text message sent to him by the correspondent for his reaction. Now, last year youth came up to protest against police brutality, and it was tagged End SARS. End SARS. So that later resulted to serious crisis, and the government promised to reform the police, and up till now no major effort have been put in place. I think it was yesterday, it was a news that they are planning to increase their salary, which I feature in my program here. Very beautiful idea. But it's not just about money, increasing the salary. If you increase the salary to 1 million, if there is still loopholes, if the mindset is still wrong, if there is no penalty for brutality for the police, it will continue. If we still recruit the wrong people into the police or into the force, let me even extend it to Nigeria force entirely, especially police and the army. If we, the way they go about brazenly beating people, oppressing people in the streets of Nigeria is unimaginable. They do this thing without fear of anything, because they feel nothing will happen. No fear. They do it openly anyhow. Just have an issue with your neighbor that has a friend, that have a military friend, then you are in trouble. They are going to call your neighbor, that their military man, to come and beat you. And they will come and beat you. And nothing will happen. So the brutality is still so much there. So I'm calling on the government, it's not just about increasing the salary of the police alone. It's much more than increasing the salary. It starts from recruitment and training. Excuse me, please. Let me attend to something. Sorry for that distraction. Somebody just called my attention to something out there. So it's not just about money. That's one problem we have. Everything we do, we just think it's all about money. If you increase the salary of the police to 1 million naira a month, and then you keep employing or recruiting wrong people into the force, you keep not giving them the appropriate training they require to serve the people. They still have the wrong mindset. The problem will remain. As good as the increment, as good as the allowance, but much better is the kind of people that's the truth, mommy diaspora. Yes, they sign up because of first of all, there's no other job. So when they now have the opportunity, they pick it up, and with that background check, it's just for money. So they maximize every opportunity they are in there. So we should change our thinking. everything is not just money, 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 money. What kind of people do you recruit into Nigeria police and Nigeria army? I had a story one time that in the Nigeria army, when they are recruited, they go for training for 6 months. That training they go for that 6 months, they say after they have done their training, the commandant will send them out and say, go out, go to town. I want to hear from people, complain from people from you. Meaning that what they are saying is that go out and deal with the people. Want to hear how many people you have beaten. That is the kind of orientation they give them. So they don't train them to protect the people. They train them to go and deal with the people. It was a military person that told me this. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes. They are corrupt. It's going to be very difficult. That's the truth of the matter. It's going to be very difficult, MD Edosa, to change their mindsets. But it is possible. Starting from the kind of people you recruit, starting from the kind of training you give them. The one I was just saying is a military man that told me, say when they finished, this one is a Navy officer. He was my neighbor. He said when they finish, they will tell them, go out. Maybe they give them 3 weeks or 1 month to go out. Go out. I want to hear people complain about you. So what that means is that they want you to go out and deal with the people. So that they will come and complain to them that this person beats them more. That is the kind of orientation that is given to these people. So they are not trained to serve the people. They are trained to go and molest the people. That is the orientation. So until we take a deliberate effort to change this mindset, we might just be where we are. That is the truth of the matter. That is the truth of the matter. So I pray, I hope that we will be able to come up with a new reform, a new formula, a new way to recruit and train whoever we are deploying for security purposes. Not only the police, not only the police, but the police, army, Navy, Air Force. The Air Force are good, they are better. Among these arms of government, the best are the... Yeah, they give them power to oppress the people. They empower them to go and oppress the people. So how can you train somebody and tell me to go out, I want to hear from people from you, and you expect that person to come out and respect the right of the people? There is no. He's going to be looking for who to beat, because that is going to be an achievement for him. So we must make deliberate efforts to change this kind of thinking. We must. It's a must. And we'll continue to hammer on it. It's not just about the salary alone. If it is about the salary alone, maybe fine. Maybe 300,000, 500,000 a month will be able to solve the problem. But the truth is that it's not about the salary alone. It's much more than the salary. It's about the orientation, starting from the recruitment, then the training you give them from the recruitment. Those are the most important thing for me. Those are the most important thing. They are even much more important than the training the money we are talking about. they are much more important than the money we are talking about. So let it not just end by saying we are giving them we are paying them 500,000 or we are paying them 100,000 a month. Then you just think that one will solve the problem. It will not solve the problem. It will rather complicate the problem. It will rather complicate the problem. It will rather complicate the problem. So another very important news here: Buhari, insecurity. We are in a state of emergency. Buhari tells new service chiefs. I was supposed to read it before. I skip it. I mistakenly skipped it. I think I must touch on this news. Very, very important. Insecurity. We are in a state of emergency. This is from our president, Muhammadu Buhari. He's telling this was his marching order in the meeting yesterday. He had the meeting he had with the new service chiefs. This is one of the communique that came out of that meeting, that he told the service chief that we are in the state of emergency. President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday afternoon meet with the newly appointed service chiefs, charging them to be patriotic and serve the country well. We are in a state of emergency. The patriotic serve the country well as your loyalty is to the country. The president charged them during the meeting held at the presidential villa. Very good motivation. Special advisor on media and publicity and additional president. The president congratulated the service chiefs on heading their various offices. There is nothing I can tell you about the service because you are in it. I was also in it. I will pray for you. I will assure you that whatever I can do as a commander-in-chief will be done to, so that the people will appreciate your effort. You know the stage we are in 2015. You know the stage we are now. The undertaking we made. We promised to secure the country, revive the economy, fight corruption. None has been easy, but we have certainly made the progress, Buhari said. President Buhari also charged the service chiefs to be concerned about the morale of their officers and men, saying they should be made to feel physically, professionally secured, and pledge that government will do its own best in terms of equipment and logistics. The propaganda in this matter is my problem. Who is doing which competition are you? We are in a state of emergency now. You just said it, that we are in a state of emergency. Are still coming up like your what's your minister of information said the other day that we are better off than 2015. 3 days ago, your minister said we are better off in 2015, and today the president is saying we are in a state of emergency. See how coordinated the government is. That is what I just want to break out on this matter. See how you people are contradicting yourself. Let's move on. Another on our news item is National Assembly order Ministry of Health to halt spending 10 billion on COVID-19 vaccines production. National Assembly urges Ministry of Health to halt spending 10 billion on COVID-19 production. So I should know say the National Assembly don't make it down. The National Assembly Joint Committee on Health has asked the Ministry of Health to suspend further action on the plan to utilize 10 billion released to them by the Minister of Finance to fund the production of COVID-19 vaccines. The committee took the decision on Wednesday following its dissatisfaction with the explanation of the Minister of Health Osage Yanire on how the 10 billion will be utilized. Chairman Senate Committee on Health Ibrahim Oloribe said the committee is dissatisfied with the explanation of the minister and has directed that the money should not be spent until the ministry can state clearly what money will be used for. The 10 billion is just given to you with the respect. What will you? The 10 billion is just given to you with due respect. What you have given to us, you don't have a specific detailed plan for it. Our decision now is that you cannot spend it. The money until you provide us satisfactory answer. Once you provide us these details, then we will invite all the necessary person. Olorunmagbe said. Now they said the Minister of the Minister of Health could not give detailed plan of how 10 billion is going to be spent on COVID-19 vaccines. So for that, they are halting the spending of that 10 billion because the Minister of Health could not give details. He only just told them that they have a marked 10 billion for the vaccine, and that they are discussing with a vaccine production company. So for that reason, he could not give details. You see, that's the way Nigerians leaders think. They just put numbers out there without breaking it down. I thank God for this National Assembly that is taking this decision. I thank God. I wish you people can do more like this, because that is what, especially this government, they tell you nothing. They just throw it at you. They don't give this. They just expect you to take it hook, line, and sinker and don't ask questions. So I very, very, very appreciate this decision by the National Assembly to halt this spending before this money enter another voice bill, because 10 billion is not small money. 10 billion, before we know now that 10 billion, yeah, they are coward. They are cowards, but this, I want to appreciate them for this decision. In another way, they are cowards. I agree. But for this one, I want to ask them to do more. Because before this 10 billion now, we just go like that. 10 billion is not small money. So that is for that. National Assembly holds 10 billion. Spending of 10 billion. National Assembly holds spending of 10 billion by the Ministry of Health. Very, very key. Very, very important. So I thank them for that decision. So let's go. I think this is the last for the day. The last, but not the least. Like I always do, I will always go back to my state to round it up. That is my own style. I don't know why, but it's just my style. I don't know if it is good or not, but it's just my style. I want to go to my state to round it up. The news coming out from my state now is not a very good one. Normally, I want to use a good one, a sherry one, to end the program, but this one is not very, very good. NUT, that is Nigeria Union of Teachers, directs striking teachers to shun Obaseki directive. That is the headline. Now let me look for the news proper. The Nigeria Union of Teachers, NUT, Edo State Wing, has directed striking primary school teachers to shun the February 1st resumption date by the Governor Obaseki administration, Edo NUT, on Wednesday in Benin, in a statement by his chairman, Pius Ohielogbe. and Assistant Secretary General Mike Itwa asked the teachers to remain at home pending when the demand, including regular payment of salary allowance and other welfare matters, are met. So, NUT on January 12 directed that primary school teachers and should used to embark on an indefinite strike from January 18. The union on Wednesday said Obaseki administration had not demonstrated any reasonable commitment to resolve the issue presented to it. The head of service, Antonio Kumbawa, earlier yesterday in a statement by the permanent secretary establishment, Debbie Enahomo, pleaded with the leaders of the NUT to suspend the strike and give considerable time to create opportunity for government to enter into dialogue with them with view to resolving the issues. Okay, so the NUT, Nigeria Union of Teachers, in the Edo State branch, is asking their colleagues in the state to stay at home. That's the primary section now. They are complaining that I think what they are complaining is salary and the allowance. But I think that's a bit contradicting with what we are hearing on a daily basis, that they are paying salary regularly. So if you are paying salary regularly, as was claimed yesterday, so what now happened? Why are the primary school teachers complaining? I don't know. I think we will have to find out what really happened. I will find out. I will use my own. I will make some contact on my own to find out what is really happening, if it is true. And they were meant to go on a strike before that on 18th resumption day. No, they were supposed to resume on the 18th. They gave the directive on the 12th that by 18 no teachers will return to class. They tabled their demands on the tables of the Edo State government, and look good enough of Edo State government now took their own resumption date to the 1st. I would have expected that this period that they used to plan, they would have used it to settle this matter with the Nigeria Union of Teachers. I think they would have done that. Why now? Why is it now that they are resuming next week and the teachers have not, their demand have not been settled, they have not been negotiated? You are now saying that they should do more time for negotiation. Why didn't you use this period to do your negotiation? And there was even a speculation then on the social media that the reason for Edo State to carry their resumption date to 1st was because of these teachers, this strike. So one would have expected that you use that period, this period, to do your negotiation. And it shouldn't be that these people must go on strike first before we negotiate with them or we listen to them. That is not good. Not a very good thing. If the federal government is doing it, I don't like it. So I will not like it when Edo State government is doing it. I will not like it. This period would have been used to do your negotiation. The one you can meet, you meet. The one you cannot meet, you tell them, okay, give me time for this. You are resuming next week and you are always asking for time for negotiation. Something that has been put forward since January 12th. Anyway, I want to appeal to the government to please listen to the workers. Listen to the workers. A worker deserves his wage. As far as they remain under your payroll, because the only thing I saw there now, the only is it has to do with salary and allowance. I don't see anything there. They did not put any other thing. Maybe there are other things, but the only, if that's the only one they put there, then if there was that thing, I would have said okay. maybe these ones are difficult one to attend to, but salary, and we celebrate you every time that you pay promptly. So how come about this? How come? As you can see, my spirit is a bit low. I was looking for a news that will cheer me up to round it up to the event. I couldn't get. That's fine. Every day not be Christmas. Thank God that today we are through. That's the last news for today, the last on the agenda. I want to thank everyone who took their time to be with me this morning. Mommy Diaspora, NBA Dusa, Usas, everybody. There are some I cannot mention their name. I don't know. I did not see them. I've forgotten their name. Everybody. I want to thank every one of you for taking out your time this morning to be with me on Matters Arising. I'm supercharged to deliver more because got some inspiring message from you, suggestions from you, from everybody. Mommy Diaspora, those are you made such, you told me things that ordinarily me I would not even know. So I thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you, Edosa. God bless you. I appreciate you. I thank you. I don't take your time lightly at all. They are so precious to me. I thank you so much. I will go out again this afternoon to look for other things. Though it's difficult, some of these people don't want to talk. Some don't want. They think that it's just for our own benefit. They have nothing to gain. I try my best to encourage them, but we'll keep pushing. We'll keep trying. Because it's an assignment that I have decided to embark on, and I will do it. So, like those are you asked me yesterday to dwell on Edo Benin native dressing. Beautiful. It's a very fantastic dress. I'm already working towards it. In the next few weeks, I will come up with a plan. I will have to visit Benin like. Mommy Diaspora said I will have to go to Benin and do things. If I get within here, I will do. If I don't get, I will go to Benin, no problem. Within the next few weeks, I will go to Benin and look for good Benin outfits to showcase to you. It's very important. I will do it. I will do it. So thank you so much as you keep encouraging me. Like all the video, don't just watch without liking, like it, share it to all your platform, all your contacts, all your family, friends, everybody. Let us be able to reach as much people as possible. Encourage them to subscribe to NAIJA Watch, because seeing you behind, seeing your comments, your like is with what encourages us, it's what motivates us. I thank you so much. As you keep it a date for today, Regions should go into some profitable business that has to manage. Yes, those are things states in Nigeria should go into now. That's a very good suggestion. That states should go into profitable business that they can manage to be able to take care of their expenses. They shouldn't just depend on Abuja take home every month. We have the capacity to do these things. We have it. We have the intellectuality to do it. Thank you so much. As we call it a day this morning, hope by the grace of God, certainly tomorrow we'll be back on Matters Arising tomorrow. This evening, we are coming up with another topic on Frank Talk. We're coming up with another topic. I expect you to be with me by the grace of God by 7 o'clock this evening. Thank you. Have a blessed day ahead of you. Ciao.